have always been able to change the world, even if they didn't get the credit. Here to fix that is author Sam Maggs. She joins us with a fun and feminist look at forgotten women in science, technology, and beyond. Sam Maggs, welcome back.
Thank you so much. Oh, get out of here.
You're such a great role model. And congrats on this book. Here it is, 25 innovators, inventors, and trailblazers who changed history. They are indeed Wonder Women. You chose 25. How did you possibly even choose between the thousands that you could have chosen?
It was so hard to narrow it down once I started to discover all of these women that we never seem to hear about in our textbooks, which is a huge injustice. But it was really important to me, particularly to include a lot of women of color and queer women, so that really helped me to narrow it down.
And of course, you have these really cool illustrations. As opposed to going through Google Images and seeing what you can find, you decided and opted for that. How and who did you choose to do those illustrations?
We have an illustrator, Sophia Foster Domino, who has done illustrations for The New Yorker and a lot of great stuff like that. So she drew an individual portrait of each woman with like little details from their story, which I think is really cool.
For consistency.
Yeah.
So let's get started. We'll just name a few because, of course, you have to get the book and read about them all, and they should be part of every library. We just mentioned libraries and classrooms.
Agreed.
Anandi Joshi?
Yeah, in the 1860s, she was the first Hindu woman from India ever to get a degree in Western medicine because she became pen pals with a widow in New Jersey, and the two of them became like best friends over across an ocean in the 19th century, and
Very
that's
cool.
how it worked out.
We've got Sara Edmunds.
She's the only Canadian in the book, which is very exciting. Decided she wanted to be a spy, dressed up like a dude, and ended up working in the American Civil War.
So did they realize that she was
They had no idea. And then she was a spy on top of that. It was a double spy. Yeah, for real.
See, there needs to be a Bond series about her.
Oh, I know, a TV show. Like,
the name is Edmond.
I love
Sort
it.
of works? I don't know. Anyway, Bessie Coleman.
She was, in the 1890s, the first black aviatrix. She got her pilot's license 2 years before Amelia Earhart, which is wild. Yeah.
How and why do we need to highlight these women? Do you think it's just for the girls out there, or is it just important for the men and the boys to be reading this as well?
Totally. I mean, there's still a real gender disparity in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, math today in terms of girls who go into it. We need to have role models so everyone can see that women have always been involved in science and math and all of these cool tech fields. I work in video games now. It's important to see that we've always been there and that we should continue to strive to succeed in these fields and to be allowed to succeed in these fields.
And there's that thread of friendship and solidarity too within the book. Why was that so important to you?
Because I think that women supporting women and female friendship is a real key to this kind of success. I mean, we support each other,
Totally.
you know, to have each other's back, so super important.
Yeah, too oftentimes, especially now with social media, it can go either way. You either get so much support, or sometimes, believe it or not, it's the women I found that could knock you down, and you're like, what is that all about? We should be celebrating the fact that we're allowed to be doing what we do.
Yeah, because we're kind of conditioned to think like, oh, there can only be one woman in this, so we must be competing with each other. But we're not. You know, we need books like this to show that tons of women can do this stuff, and we all need to support each other, and that'll make it easier for everyone.
I've got to ask you then, because it made news, of course, last night and this morning. Miley Cyrus came out saying she is totally offended by the series Supergirl.
Yeah.
And she thinks that the girl is awful because it's a woman and that it shouldn't be gender specific, but there's always a Superman. And isn't it great that you have this series that highlights the females, the protagonist, and you've got Callista Flockhart as the boss, and it's all these women in the center of it all.
That's true, and I think that there are different types of women who are into science. You don't have to be a certain type of way. You can refer to yourself as a girl if you want to. You can refer to yourself as a woman. You can say whatever you want because you have the power to do that, so it doesn't have to be so prescriptive.
We've had a lot of female athletes on the show who've gone on to win, you know, Olympic gold. Yeah. And they say when they were growing up, there was no, you know, teams available. They were amongst all the boys. Yeah. Now it has changed. Do you feel that we're going in the right direction finally?
We definitely are, but I think there's still a lot of progress to be made. I mean, we still don't see these women in our textbooks. We still don't really hear these stories when girls are growing up. They need to know that there are more options available to them than just the ones that we've been presented for the last, you know, 50 or 100 or centuries, you know?
What ages would you say is this written for, appropriate for them to understand?
I think as young as 9 forwards. I mean, I kind of wrote this book for me and, you know, people of my age, but I think it can be appreciated by people of all ages, hopefully.
We appreciate you. Like I said, such a brilliant role model. Sam Maggs, follow her on Twitter for more information. breakfasttelevision.ca to actually get a link to purchase this amazing book for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Right now, over to Kev in the newsroom.